For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it come fight
and
night.
I know Turki is in your corner,
I promise
but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
Though they vowed not to engage in trash talk, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez abandoned that promise fast, as their press conference erupted into a fiery back and forth filled with cutting words and intense tension.
We are true fighters.
Yeah, true fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk about the fight because they want to say something. The people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fight.
Yeah.
We don't need to start.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September.
They threw out whatever mutual respect they once had and started mocking each other, just like they would with any rival. And yes, if you're guessing who lit the match first, you're probably guessing right.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You're gonna see.
We'll
see.
We'll see.
We're gonna see.
In what was billed as the fight of the century, Alvarez didn't believe it would be close. Even with Crawford moving up from light middleweight, Canelo had once downplayed the mega bout, thinking there was little to gain by beating someone who began at lightweight. Asked if a loss to the two-time undisputed Crawford would stain his legendary resume, Canelo, 34, stayed calm and said, "He's not going to beat me, don't worry. He's not going to beat me. This fight will be in the boxing history books."
Not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
He's a great fighter, but he's not Canelo. I've got the experience, Alvarez told reporters. Everyone focuses on my power, but there's more to me than that. This fight will be one of the best of my career. Though 3 years younger than Crawford, Canelo went pro at age 15 and now has 11 world titles, 27 title bouts, and 67 total fights. That makes him the one expected to pass the torch. He's not going to beat me. Don't worry, Canelo repeated. Crawford laughed and replied, "For sure these belts are coming home."
What would it look like?
Come on, man. Yeah, I know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm me against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So, you know what I mean? That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different. No, it's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the streets.
There's a 26-fight difference between them. But Crawford's resume is the stuff of legends, 19 world title bouts in a row, and to weight undisputed champion. Now, he aims to become the first male 3-division undisputed champ, a feat already achieved by Clarissa Shields. "I'm taking them and there's nothing you can do," he said. "I'm not like the others." Canelo, who's won belts from 154 to 175 pounds, shot back. "You don't look different. Nothing's different." Crawford replied coolly, "I'm different. You'll see."
I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running. You know, I could tell you that. But I will be, you know, doing a lot of touching.
Get me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's not Canelo.
Canelo began his pro career at just 15 in 2005, while Crawford turned professional at 20 in 2008. Crawford, backed publicly by Alalshik, so this was the fight he always dreamed of. "I called Canelo out. He's the last legend from the era that came before us: Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar de la Hoya. We came up watching them, and he got to face them. I didn't. This is my moment." Crawford hasn't fought since August, when he beat Israel Madrimov for the WBA light middleweight title. Meanwhile, Canelo regained the 168 LB undisputed crown by defeating William Skull in May in Riyadh.
I'm very excited, motivated, because this is all about. I want to make history, and I'm very excited for this fight. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the
Now headlining on Netflix inside the Las Vegas Raiders' $1 billion, 65,000-seat stadium. Canelo prepares to face Crawford, who says losing is not an option, not in or out of the ring. Come on, man, you know what I do. I don't need to talk about it. On the streets, me versus anyone, I never say another man can beat me. That's your answer. Canelo, unfazed, hit back. This isn't the streets. This is boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. It's simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
After the brief verbal exchange, press conference host Todd Grisham asked both fighters about their mental focus before fight night. Crawford said he's not worrying about the scorecards. Instead, he's keeping control of what's within his reach. I can't worry about judges. I just have to control what I can and win clearly, he said. Any fighter can be knocked out. Canelo's got a strong chin. He's tough, durable. We've seen him hurt, but never badly. Still, under the right conditions, anyone can get knocked out. I always rise on big nights. This is mine. And Canelo knows the challenge.
Would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
The Mexican star has often won fights even when he's been the smaller man, and doesn't think size will matter now as he prepares for a two-weight undisputed opponent. On September 13th, I've been in that spot before. I'm not thinking about it, Canelo said. I'm just going to do my job, prepare seriously, and not worry about who's bigger. I always train for the best opponent. I'm a winner. I come to win. My mindset is different. Canelo also thanked Netflix, Turkey, and everyone involved. It's all about making history. I'm grateful to be here.
What would you say from memory that you first thought this fight was a real possibility, that you started thinking about this fight actually happening?
Well, I started thinking about it, a couple of years ago when they started talking about Spence fighting Canelo. Then just, sizing him up, like, all right, how tall is he? How long his arms and things like that. Just sizing him up like that and going to his fights and things like that. And when
As fight night nears, both fighters closed out by speaking directly to their fans. They know I always come to fight and give my best. I just want to thank them for the support, said Canelo. I hope they'll be watching or cheering in the arena when I win. Crawford, meanwhile, urged his supporters to suit up and show out as they make their way from Omaha, Nebraska, to Las Vegas, but promised to etch his name in history by taking down Canelo and adding one more legendary moment to his incredible career.
I think Canelo's not the same fighter. His punch output's a lot less. What do you think, considering, the last 12 months or so? Is he the same fighter he was maybe a few years ago?
I think he is. I just think, he just wasn't up for the Skull fight. And I think, different fighters bring different, energies out of other fighters.
A lot of people are judging you on the Madrimov fight, saying you struggled moving up in weight. You're going further up in weight, and they're saying that's going to go against you based on the Madrimov fight. How do you kind of reply to that?
I just tell them, suit up, Crawford said. We're bringing more gold home. It's going to be a historic night for boxing. History is on the line as Terence Crawford looks to become the first male boxer ever to hold undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes. This epic clash will unfold at Allegiant Stadium, home of the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders, which holds 65,000 fans. It also marks the debut event for UFC President Dana White's new boxing venture, a collaboration with Saudi promoter Turki Alalshik that nearly collapsed before being revived recently.
La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime. Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name.
I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick.
Alalshik was seated at the top table while Dana White was notably absent. The press conference kicked off with remarks from His Excellency Turki Alalshik, who shared that he had dinner with both fighters just the night before, but with formalities out of the way, the real work begins now. I want to thank these legends' great fighters. In the end, it's all thanks to God, Alalshik said. Before midnight, we were eating together. After midnight, it changed. The prestige is gone, the gloves are off. They were professionals before me now, the fight begins.
That we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste... Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
The chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority has led the wave of boxing investment over the past 18 months, but rarely appears alongside fighters in public. Alalshik didn't hold back during his opening speech, criticizing boring, evasive fights and demanding action. No more Tom and Jerry, he insisted. As the three-city press tour began, with stops in Las Vegas and New York, the media had questions only for Alalshik. Neither fighter spoke for nearly 25 minutes. While Saudi Arabia claims its sports investments aim to diversify income, critics say it's propaganda, but the spending isn't slowing down.
I want from you to say his name. I decided with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste... Oscar,
I want to speak to you about some of Turki's comments. He said he doesn't want Tom and Jerry, people running away in the ring. What did you make of that?
I agree with that. You know, people want to see a good fights. And I agree with that.
Do you think
Turki Alalshik, because you know, people come and spend money to see a great fight, and if the other fighter come and run all the night and don't make a good fight, it's deceptional.
Turki Alalshik often called His Excellency as the powerhouse behind Saudi Arabia's rise in global boxing. As a wealthy promoter, he made it clear he hates Tom and Jerry boxing fighting styles, where boxers run. Alvarez and Crawford will give me face smashing and blood, that's boxing, he said. He didn't get into details, but the message rang clear. These two must deliver. Just days ago, Crawford and Canelo faced off in Riyadh. Canelo, fresh off a dull win over William Skull in May, was booed by fans who felt Skull ran all night. That was also Canelo's first fight under his 5-bout Saudi contract.
The discussion. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
All right, on the left-hand side here.
He saw your fight with Skull and potentially came to the conclusion.
And we talk after about that, and it's very sad. But you know, it is what it is.
I know.
Crawford will do that.
I hope not, because we expect a great fight, the fight of the century, right? So I hope not.
Crawford hasn't fought since August 2024, and like Canelo, he didn't score a knockout. His win over Israel Madrimov came via unanimous decision, and the crowd grew restless during the bout. Alalshik reportedly considered shrinking the ring to force more action, but still thought sharing a pre-fight dinner with the two stars was wise. We spoke last night, and they were professional, he said later. But I think now they know what's expected. Neither Canelo nor Crawford seemed concerned by Alalshik's message. When they meet at Allegiant Stadium, it'll be for undisputed glory that speaks louder than words.
You heard His Excellency saying no more Tom and Jerry, no more running, but you're moving up 2 weight classes. It's not going to be smart for you to stand there and hammer it out with this guy. So how do you kind of balance that, not running, but being elusive in fighting Canelo?
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight. And when I've been fighting my whole life, you know, I won't be running.
At 37, Crawford is jumping up to full weight classes 14 pounds to face Alvarez at super middleweight. Standing toe-to-toe with Canelo would electrify the crowd and maybe deliver the war Alalshik demands. But Crawford made it clear, nobody's going to tell me how to fight. I've done this my whole life. I won't run, but I'll be doing plenty of touching. Before facing Madrimov, Crawford had won 11 straight by knockout. Alvarez, 34, believes this bout will be remembered forever. Still, after that awful fight with Skull, Canelo said, "It was boring, but a win's a win. That's what counts."
I call Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know, the Kovalevs and Triple G's, and I wasn't able to get those mega.
Had Alvarez truly listened during the pre-fight dinner or even the press conference, he would have realized that for Alalshik and most boxing fans, that's not all that matters anymore.
Your Excellency, Tazzy Brown from AustraliaFightHot.com. First of all, congratulations for everything you've done for boxing since you've come into the game. You've gave us many great fights, and you continue, Your Excellency, to keep giving us greater fights. You're a boxing historian yourself. Do you think this fight resembles Marvin Hagler Sugar Admitted in the 80s? The fact that Canelo and Terence Crawford are the two great pound-for-pound legends, both first ballot Hall of Famers in the future.
Canelo hasn't scored a knockout since 2021, when he stopped Caleb Plant in round 11. Maybe that's something His Excellency will address if he hosts another private dinner. As for the fight, it's back to business. The press conference ended with the traditional stare-down, and now all eyes turn to the men about to battle for undisputed super middleweight glory. On September 13th in Las Vegas, this marked the first time both Alvarez and Crawford shared the stage publicly, since their massive showdown was officially announced.
Terence cannot do.
No, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's not Canelo. Obviously, I'm been in this situation for a long time, and I have the experience. They only focus on my power, but I have more than that, and I think this fight is gonna be one of my best fights.